Mr. Osa, Director, joins us now. He is the National Publicity Secretary of the National Democratic Congress. And he is here. It's good to see you, sir. We've been talking about your party and wondering, the conversation started exactly about the ADC and, how it was hoping to explore a pathway to victory given the divisions within the ranks of the opposition political parties. And it appears that that has now dovetailed into the primaries conducted by your party, which have been less than satisfactory, or at least looks like more of the same from what we've seen from even the mainstream, or let's say, the ruling political class.
Thank you very much for having me. I will not totally agree that we are experiencing challenges that are worse than what we have in the ruling political class. I mean, the ruling party, the APC. The truth is that there's no human system that is 100% correct or foolproof. We are relatively a very young political party, less than 4 months old, and considering the daunting challenges we have to face, we know that we're going to face some hiccups and some challenges and bullets from especially those who have lost out in the primaries.
But it appears that the bullets that you are facing are self-inflicted.
Yeah. No, they are not, because you have not asked me what to corroborate or deny whatever anybody has come out to say. We know that those who lost out, or some who lost out, are complaining about certain procedures that were adopted by the party, the NDC, in conducting the primaries. And we have set up a reconciliation committee to talk to aggrieved party members to ensure that everyone is carried along and on the same page. Because definitely, only one person is going to occupy that seat or pick the ticket of the party. And those who lost out must be assuaged and must be convinced that they lost out fair and square. And that's what we're trying to do, that there was no mechanism put in place by the party to ensure that certain people are cut off from the process. So the process of convincing them is what matters most. And we are doing that with a lot of sincerity.
I want to read out a few things from a statement. This is from the guest who just left here a few moments ago, and he wrote about his dissatisfaction. I'm going to read this part. He says, as a lawyer, I find it difficult to understand how an appeal process can validly take place when there are no officially published results against which an aggrieved aspirant can formulate grounds of appeal. An appeal presupposes the existence of a decision that has been communicated to affected parties and which can then be challenged through an established procedure. So it does appear that even the results of the primaries, nobody even knows them. The people who participated in them are yet to see them. Yet, they have been announced, candidates emerged, and appeal processes concluded.
I'm surprised at the tone of that letter. Number one, when candidates were giving expression of interest form, there was an attestation form where they signed to the fact that whatever decision is taken by the party is binding on them and that they will not go to court. So the principle of Valentino fit injury will take place, for them now to start complaining that there was no appeal. The appeal was constituted and communicated to every aspirant. As a matter of fact, it is because of that we had to kind of extend our program in a way. We wanted to terminate the whole process on the 29th, but not terminated on the 30th with the affirmation of His Excellency Peter Obi as our presidential aspirant. So every aspirant was communicated to, and things were made easier for the party because most of the aspirants were still in Abuja, after the primaries. So I am surprised that he's saying that he never got a letter or he never got to be aware that there was constitution for an appeal panel. Apart from the selection committee, after the selection committee, we set up an appeal panel. Right. And after the appeal panel, now we have set up a reconciliation committee.
I'm going to read the last part of his ban. After this, I'll let Ayo come in. He says, for me, the greatest disappointment is not losing a ticket. Politics is about contest, and one can lose honorably. My disappointment is that I invested my time, resources, and reputation in a process that increasingly appears opaque and inconsistent with the democratic principles it publicly proclaimed. This is the complaint of and before I even get to that part, he said the unavoidable question is this: if a political project cannot guarantee internal democracy for its own members, is it Is its real objective winning the presidency or merely negotiating relevance ahead of the general elections? These are big questions.
Yes.
The internal democratic process within your party is under contest. You are saying that is not the situation. It was conducted. If it was conducted, will it not be clear for everybody to see?
It's not everybody that is complaining. It's not everybody that is complaining. But what we are saying, the point I want to make is that everyone has a right to his own opinion. Everyone has a right to his own assessment or definition of what democracy is all about. As far as we are concerned in the NDC, we did our level best to ensure that every aspirant had equal opportunity. But I must also admit that it wasn't a perfect system. We had our challenges, and those are the challenges we are trying to address, or we have been addressing, to the extent that we have now formed a reconciliation committee to speak to every aspirant and let them know that yes, we are human beings, things didn't go the way you expected, but that is not to say that you are not relevant or you are not important. We are the only political party after the conduct of the primary, I mean the screening committee. We had a dinner party for all aspirants. It has never happened. Telling them that at the end of the only one person is going to emerge. Please, it doesn't mean that you don't have to be a journeyman politically and jump ship once you don't get the ticket.
Let me let Ayo quickly comment to this. Ayo.
Well, thank you, Markwe. Mr. Director, one of the complaints that are now out again, which would raise some more significant questions, is the fact that, and he said, and I quote, "My concern goes beyond my personal aspiration. I'm also struggling to understand the pathway to national victory for a party whose key leadership positions are concentrated within the same broad geopolitical region. The national leader is from Bayelsa State in the south-south. The national chairman is from the south. The national secretary is from Anambra South Senatorial Zone, the same zone as the presidential candidate. In a country as diverse as Nigeria, such an arrangement raises legitimate questions about inclusiveness, balance, and national appeal." What you got to say to that?
Yeah, you have to understand that the NDC is a party that just came into existence about 3 months ago. And at the formative stage of a party, you must have these challenges of trying to balance the federal character principle. The founder of the party, His Excellency Senator Seraki Dixon, is from Bayelsa State. And when you are forming a party, you have to go along with those who key into your vision, who are ready to drive that vision. But as the party becomes bigger, people come in. Now that we have more people coming into the party, these are the issues that are going to be addressed. We expect that our member should have channeled this kind of letter to the party hierarchy, and some of those things will be addressed. Some of the issues he raised will be addressed. They are very germane and legitimate. Nobody is denying that. But he must also understand the circumstance under which the NDC came into being. That is what is responsible for the kind of skewed positioning that we have seen in the hierarchy of the party. Secondly, these are going to be addressed since we are now bigger.
Well, we may need to stay on that for a bit. You had the national convention, is that correct? Your party has had a national convention. Okay. Now, one would have expected that it is at that kind of meeting that these issues would have been raised. I don't think anyone needed to write specifically for it if the party is thinking in that direction as well. You have a a vice presidential candidate from the north. And these key positions that have been cited, they are definitely not anything but northern. Maybe you want to give us an idea of how the balance, how the federal character principle you are talking about have been applied in your party now, so that there is an understanding for both the aspirants that you said, lost out, and the general populace who may be thinking of voting your party.
Before I answer your question, I want to make a point clear. That for instance, if this aspirant who wrote this letter has gotten the ticket of the party, he will not be making all these allegations. And this same aspirant, I'm sure he was at the national convention. He had the opportunity to raise all these issues or these questions, but he never did. And don't also forget that it is because of the peculiarity of our nation that we begin to emphasize on the...
Is the party unaware? Is your party unaware of this imbalance?
The party is not unaware of the imbalance. And that's why I told you that the circumstances that led to the birth of the party is what has made it position itself the way it is. And that now that we have become broader in terms of national spread, now these things are going to be addressed. And that's why I expected him to channel his letter to the party. And all these things will be addressed. There are constitutional procedure in the party constitution to address such demands. After all, we have vice chairmen from the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. They are not from one place. We have national vice chairman, South-South, national vice chairman, North-West, national vice chairman, North-East, national vice chairman, North-Central, national vice chairman, South-East, national vice chairman, South-West. All these are there. And if people have raised this issue that, look, because sometimes let us also not sacrifice competence for ethnic balancing, you know? So if people say, oh, this is skewed in such a way, we can also argue, we are using the best hands that we have now. If they are not performing, then you can complain. Especially, as I've said, we have zonal vice chairman from across the 6 geopolitical zones. And like you rightly mentioned, the vice presidential candidate is a northerner. You also have a deputy national chairman, north, just as we have deputy national chairman, south. So we are not in any way trying to prevent a certain section of the country from participating or being part of the hierarchy or the National Working Committee. And you also know that even the National Working Committee comprises every state chairman and secretary.
You say a reconciliation committee is currently in place. Is that correct?
Yes.
So you are going around now to try and make peace with all the members of your party?
Yes, a National Reconciliation Committee that is in Abuja that will see all the caucus leaders from the various states. However, we are also going to use the opportunity to ensure that we set up a reconciliation committee in the state and at the local government level.
All right, we'll see how that eventually pans out for your party. We certainly wish you all the very best, Mr. Osa, Director, the National Publicity Secretary of the NDC. Thank you once more for speaking with us on Sunrise.
Thank you very much for having me again.